بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله تعالى نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله تبارك وتعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Today is the 2nd of April. Sorry? 2nd of April, Tuesday, 2nd of April 2019. And we are here together in Croydon ICT Masjid to begin بإذن ربنا عز وجل a series of lectures on الاستعداد لشهر Ramadan al-Mubarak. To begin a series of lectures dealing with preparation for the blessed month of Ramadan. Now, before we actually get into this topic, there's a few things that I would like to mention. بإذن ربنا عز وجل, a few things that I deem to be essential, imperative to mention before we actually get into the mawdu'. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And that is this number one. Firstly, I would like to thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for this opportunity to present to you some pieces of advice to prepare myself first and foremost, because this is in preparation for Ramadan. First and foremost, I want to get prepared. And then by extension, I would love for my brothers and sisters, bi'idhni rabbina azza jalla, whether you come here to attend face to face or whether you're listening online, to also benefit. So I'd like to thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for this opportunity. And similarly, I would like to thank the idara, the administration of the masjid and everybody involved that helped to put these lectures together, guys, because what you guys may not know is that there is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make these lectures happen, from posters to an agreeing a schedule to brothers communicating with each other. All of this is happening behind the scenes. So I'd also like to extend my gratitude and my thanks to the brothers in this community. And then last but not least, guys, you guys for coming. You guys are taking time out of your busy schedule to come bi'idhnillahi ta'ala to benefit by Allah's permission. So I thank you guys as well. Now, if I were to ask any one of you here listening today, after the ni'mah, the blessing of al-Islam and being guided to the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam, what would you guys say? And this is objective. Everyone may have a different opinion. There's no correct answer per se, but there is an answer that probably most people will say. All right? What is the biggest blessing in our lives after the blessing of being guided to al-Islam and the sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in accordance to the understanding of his companions? Radiyallahu ta'ala anhum ajma'in. What would you guys say?
Follow the sunnah that Prophet sent.
Okay. Follow the sunnah of Muhammad, the Prophet.
Follow the one that is being sent with
I.e. the Prophet Muhammad, follow the Prophet Muhammad. Sheikh Musa, barakallahu fiqh, akhi, excellent answer. Lakin the question was, what is the biggest blessing after being guided to al-Islam and the Sunnah upon the understanding of the companions? What's the next biggest blessing? Allahu Akbar.
Being able to fast the month of Ramadan.
So that comes under health, right? So he said health, which encompasses everything, whether that being able to fast the month of Ramadan, whether that being able to pray in the month of Ramadan, whether that entails one being able to do good deeds in the month of Ramadan, Hajj, Umrah, or any other act of that's beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his messenger. But what Talib said was exactly what I was looking for. Health. Health is the biggest blessing after being guided to al-Islam and the Sunnah. And in fact, if you were to ask non-Muslims, what is the biggest blessing in your life? Obviously, they wouldn't say al-Islam and the Sunnah upon the understanding of the companions, but they would probably say health. Health is the biggest blessing across the board that we are probably as a people in unanimous agreement from. In whether you go and ask somebody in Jamaica, whether you go and ask somebody in Eritrea, everyone will say the same thing: it's my health. And the only time, I don't want to say the only time, but most of us appreciate something when that thing's being snatched away. Whether that be your health, or whether that be a loved one, or whether that be a member of a community. It's only when somebody passes away or when somebody comes sick that we start to regret and we think, subhanallah, I wish I spent more time with so-and-so. I wish I told my mom I loved her more. I wish I told my dad I loved her more, loved him more. I wish I told my son I loved him more. You guys agree with me or you disagree?
Agree.
Your friend passed away. I wish I spent more time with him. Allah Ta'ala in His infinite wisdom decides to take away your eyesight. I wish I read more Quran. I wish I kept my eyes away from the muharramat and those things which cause the displeasure of Allah Ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides to take your health away. I wish I'd done more ibadah. I wish I used my youth for that which was pleasing to Allah Ta'ala and subsequently stayed away from that which will earn the displeasure of Allah Ta'ala. You guys with me so far? And Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran concerning us, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا. And verily, mankind were created weak. So the fact that we were created weak entails that we're going to slip up from time to time. We're going to make mistakes. We haven't been created not to make mistakes. We have been created to worship Allah Ta'ala, but by our very essence as human beings, we're going to slip up from time to time. It's inevitable. But that's not the big deal if you slip up. The issue is when you do slip up, are you courageous enough to turn back to Allah Ta'ala, repentful for your sin or for your mistake, and ask Allah Ta'ala to forgive and overlook? This is the issue here. Now, oftentimes, and this is why I've given this long introduction, like I said, we forget about the blessings of Allah Ta'ala. We all know that health is the biggest blessing after Islam and the Sunnah. But oftentimes we take our health for granted. Am I lying, ikhwan? We take our health for granted. We take our health for granted in the things that we eat. And subsequently in the things that we don't eat. Meaning there are certain things we should be eating that are going to make ourselves healthy. We neglect them because they don't taste nice. Or we indulge in things that we know is going to be detrimental and bad for our health. But we like it, so we do it. We don't exercise. Even though we know exercising is good for us. But the moment your health's in jeopardy, all of these regrets are going to come back across the board. So I wanted to remind myself first and foremost, and remind you all, to take advantage of your health. To take advantage of your health before your health gets snatched away. Because it's not everybody that becomes sick and then they become cured again. Many people become sick and they end up dying. That's it. Game over. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. You guys with me? So there's a hadith that's been collected by Imam Abu Dawood rahimahullah ta'ala and others. And it includes a lovely dua that I came across recently, and it touched me for obvious reasons. Those who know my story will know why it touched me. It touched me deeply. And the hadith is quite long, but I just wanted to share with you guys and perhaps inshallah teach you guys today just the first part of this hadith. And it's a dua that we all can make. It's reported that the Prophet ﷺ used to make this dua in the morning. And it's very, very simple. I taught it to my wife a couple days ago, and then I tested her this morning. She got it wrong. May Allah bless her. Ala kulli hal, that I want to teach you guys today. And in the reality, there's probably 4 words that you may not know. 4 words, you guys can learn 4 words in like 30 seconds. It's not difficult. The rest of the words that come in the hadith, these are words that we're accustomed to on a regular basis. Allahumma. Ma ma'na Allahumma? What does Allahumma mean? Oh Allah. Oh my Lord. Oh Allah. Alright? You hear this all the time when the Imam makes dua, especially during Taraweeh. Right? Allahumma, oh Allah. We hear it all the time. Ma ma'na fi? In. The majority of the time, when the word fi is used, it means in. اللغة العربية واسعة. The Arabic language is wide. One word can mean so many different things. This is the richness of the language. The richness, and inshallah maybe in another lesson we can go into how rich the Arabic language is. But for now, fi generally means in. So if I were to say to you guys, شيخ غيرك أنت عشان أنت ما شاء الله تتحدث بلغة العربية تماما ولله الحمد والشكر. لكن if I were to say to you guys, اللهم عافني في بدني. One more time. اللهم عافني في بدني. اللهم عافني في بدني. How many words in this sentence did you guys probably don't understand?
2.
No, that you don't understand.
2.
2. What were those 2?
No, just
Allahumma
one. Badani.
Badani. So you might not know what Badani means. Jade. What about you, Sheikh Mustafa?
I understand everything.
You understand everything? Sheikh? Kul? Everything? Masha. Anta akhi? Badani was the only thing you didn't understand? Jade? Kullu? Mustafa? Sheikh Musa?
Badi.
Badan faqat?
Kullu.
MashaAllah. Sheikh Hamza? Allahumma, you know that means oh Allah. We know that fi means in. So the other 2 words were afini and badani. Okay, just 2 then.
I don't know those either.
Okay, just 2. There's kullu walillah alhamdu wa shukr. These are the two of the 4 words that I want to teach you. Afini means to grant me good health. You're asking Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to grant you good health. In what? Al-badan. Al-badan. Al-jism. This is one of the words that we've covered for those people that are attending Sifatu Salat al-Nabi, the class of Sifatu Salat al-Nabi. We've learned that when we make izalatun najasa min thalath, removing the impurities from 3 separate things. Can you remember what they are, akhi? Do you come to the Sifatu Salat al-Nabi class?
Don't remember now.
Okay. When we removed, it was condition number 5.
Is it the place of
Excellent. The place that you worship, the place, the buq'ah that you worship,
Your
also
body.
your body, which we translated as al-badan.
yeah.
Al-badan, that was the word that was used. Alright, so in reality you knew that word but you just forgot. وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ هَكَذا. And it's okay to forget. It's okay to forget. I forget on a daily basis. This is why I write everything down. Because if I don't write everything down, خلاص ذهب. المعلومات تذهب بسرعة. You have to write down. Anyway, Allahumma afini fi badani. Guys, please repeat after me. Allahumma afini fi badani. One more time. Allahumma afini fi badani. Oh Allah, grant me good health in my body. Let's repeat it again. Allahumma afini fi sam'i. Fi sam'i. If I was to ask you, akhi, what's your name? Ahmed. Barakallahu feek. I said, Allahumma afini fi. You should know what that means right now, right? Please don't tell him. Please don't tell him.
Oh Allah.
Afini. Who can help him? Hamza, help him. Grant me what? Good health. Fi
In
sam'i.
my ears.
Mashallah, I knew you were going to say my ears. My hearing.
My hearing.
My hearing. Some people can hear better than others. Some people are deaf, so they can't hear at all. Right? So we ask Allah Ta'ala by His best names and by His greatest attributes to grant us good health in our, number 1, and in our badan, and secondly, in our sama', in our hearing. And the last and final line that I want to teach you guys today, then we're going to inshallah ta'ala nadkhulu fil mawdu' bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Allahumma, repeat after me guys. Allahumma afini fi basri. في بصري. ما معنى حبيبي حمزة بصر أو بصري؟ I was going to say yeah, my eye. MashaAllah. When I said to my wife, I said Allahumma afini fi badani, Allahumma afini fi sam'i, Allahumma afini. I said fi basri. She didn't know the word basar, but she speaks Arabic, but she doesn't use this particular word. I said fi basri. She said ayuni, because ayun or ayn or ayuni is my eye. I was just a little personal joke that happened today. Ala kulli halin, guys, try to remember that dua. So easy. Allahumma afini fi badani, my body. Allahumma afini fi سمعي اللهم عافني في
Basri.
بصري وهكذا. Try to learn it, ikhwan, and try to not only just learn it for today, but try to use it. The only way you're going to memorize anything in Al-Islam is if you try to the best of your abilities to implement it. Alright guys?
It stops there?
No, it continues, but what I don't want to do, I don't want to give you guys too much. I'd rather shay'an for shay'an, bit by bit. So maybe next lesson, we learn the next part. So by the end of it, this is a practical... Al-Maqsood al-an. The intended purpose of me telling you this, guys, is because the blessed month of Ramadan, al-Isti'dad, the preparation for the month of Ramadan is coming. And I would love for you guys to be able to, especially for those brothers that don't speak Arabic, to at least make one dua to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala in Arabic. It feels nice. And actually understand what you're saying. Alright? Actually understand what you're saying. I'm always been amazed, because it's been so long ago, but I've always been amazed when a person can stand for 30 days for Taraweeh, not understanding much of what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is saying. And that is not a dig at anybody that doesn't understand Arabic. But the feeling you get when you understand what your Lord is saying to you is a feeling that, I'm sure you can ask those brothers that speak Arabic, is a tremendous feeling. Your salah is on a different level. And this is what I want for you guys. And in order for you to get closer to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, one of the best ways to do so is by learning the language that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala sent the last and final revelation down to mankind. You guys with me? Barakallahu feekum. Before we continue, are there any questions? No?
Can you say this dua anytime or just no?
The hadith mentions, as I remember, that the Prophet ﷺ used to say this dua, this part of the dua, in the morning. And then come to the evening time, there's the second part of the dua, which I want to teach you on another, maybe I'll teach you guys tomorrow, for those that want to come, because I've got a class tomorrow, same time I believe, we do it tomorrow, and then the next part on Friday for 40 hadith class. So the second part of the dua, which we'll learn tomorrow, was said in the evening, as I remember. But it's not to say, for example, now that we're in the evening now in the UK, that I can't say that dua. You can say a dua anytime, but obviously following the sunnah is afdal, is better. Now, Habib.
Normally the lesson tomorrow is at 7. Is it going to change?
That's a good question. I'm gonna speak to Adel, but I'm not 100% sure. Probably not. We just start at 7, then.
Maghrib is 7:40.
Oh, 7:40.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got time. We got time, inshallah ta'ala, yeah? Faddal, Habibi.
I have to say, it's been good to see you today, Ustaz Ismaeel.
Likewise, Habibi, it's always a blessing, and this is what I'm trying to say. It's good, you said it's good to see me, and likewise, it's a beautiful feeling, number one, to be here, and it's good also to see you. You understand, Akhi?
MashaAllah.
Barakallahu feekum. These are blessings that we take for granted. La qadar Allah, la qadar Allah. If Mustafa passed away, we would just say, subhanAllah, I remember Mustafa used to come to the class, he used to sit here. How many of us would wish that we said to Mustafa before he passed, لا قدر الله يا أخي أطال الله عمرك أحبك في الله أخي
أحبك في الله أخي.
بارك الله فيك. My point is this: don't wait for a calamity to happen, whether it be the loss of a loved one, the loss of one of your blessings, your health, your eyesight, your hearing, for you to start appreciating what you've got. Make sense, ikhwan? Make the most of the time that we have, because we only get one chance. That's the reality. We only get one chance, one shot at life. Once it's over forever, until you make the intiqal to the akhirah. You with me, guys? Jay. Now, as you guys know, this is a series of lectures in preparation for the blessed month of Ramadan, and we are so close. Like Brother Adel said, Abu Sumayya said, we're like 30 days away. But the reality is that the race isn't over. We haven't even started. Just because we're 30 days away is no guarantee that we're going to actually even see Ramadan. Look at our brothers and sisters, rahimahumullahu jami'an, who were slaughtered by the terrorists in New Zealand. It happened just before Jum'ah, right?
Jum'ah.
Yeah, but before the Salat al-Jum'ah. على يوم الجمعة لكن قبل صلاة الجمعة صح؟ أيوة. They thought they were going to see Jum'ah, let alone Ramadan, صح? They thought they were going to see Jum'ah, let alone Ramadan, let alone finishing Ramadan. So we're here today. There is absolutely no guarantee that we're even going to see Ramadan, much less the end of Ramadan. So now we're close by, but the race hasn't even started yet. And in order for us to make the most of any act of worship in Al-Islam, then it requires us, as Brother Adil mentioned again, to make preparation. Preparation is the key to everything. You got an exam at school, the key to passing that exam after the tawfiq of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala is what, ikhwan? Preparation. Preparation. You want to make the most of your hajj or your umrah. What is the key to making the most of your hajj or your umrah? Preparation. That's the blessed month of Ramadan is on our heels, literally. Who from among us don't want to get the maghfirah of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and the takfir of dhunub and our sins, the forgiveness of Allah and the forgiveness of Allah and our sins being wiped away? Who from among us don't want that? لا أحد. Lakin the key to making the most of this blessed month is none other than al-isti'dad, preparation. And that's what separates, inshallah ta'ala, the one that benefits from the month of Ramadan and the one that doesn't. It's preparation. And just like every time you increase your knowledge about Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, you increase your love for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, am I right? Every time you learn Allah's names, His beautiful names and His lofty attributes, it increases your love for Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. Every time you ponder and you reflect over the blessings that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent down upon His creation, it increases your love for Him. Every time you learn more about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and how he was a rahmah lil alameen and some of the things that he did in his life, the more you love him. And the more you love Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, the more you know about the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi wasallam, the more you're able to increase in your ibadah. Everything is interconnected. And the same is true for the blessed month of Ramadan. Every time we learn more about the blessed month of Ramadan from the wajibat, those things which are obligatory upon us, from those things which are supererogatory. If you do it, you're rewarded. If you leave it off, you're not sinful. Every time we increase in this knowledge, the more chance we're able to obtain more rewards. Does that make sense, guys? So these lessons, I'm not saying lessons with me, Ismaeel, are imperative. La. As long as you're studying, whether you're doing your own independent reading or you're listening online to a sheikh in another country, then this is what's required from every single one. Because everybody, we want to hit Ramadan and we hit the ground running, as they say. We don't want Ramadan to come and it's like, okay, what time do I have to start the fast? When can I break it? What happens if I wake up in the morning of Ramadan and I'm junub because if I'm married, I had sexual relations with my wife the night before, or I'm not married and I had a wet dream and I woke up and I'm in a state of janaba. What do I do? Why wait till the month comes upon us and we find ourselves in these situations and you're trying to pick up the phone, call this talib, call this imam? Why? Let's learn about it now, such that when the month comes and we find ourselves in these different situations, we know what to do. Guys, make sense? Jazakumullahu khairan. So in order, like I said, to benefit from this blessed month, we need to increase our knowledge and awareness. What does as-siyam mean linguistically in the language, and what does it mean when it's used in the religion? When was the blessed month of Ramadan or fasting, when was it obligated on the Muslims? Why was it obligated on the Muslims first and foremost? What is the whole point and the purpose of us fasting as Muslims? The third one was, when was it obligated? How many Ramadans did the blessed Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa ala alihi wasallam, how many did he fast? Was Ramadan always wajib on the Muslims? Or was there a time when it was optional to fast and you could do something else to compensate for the one that didn't fast? Okay? When do we actually begin preparing for the month of Ramadan? Is it now? Or is it when we hear that from Saudi Arabia, for example, that they've sighted the moon and it's time for Ramadan? What are those signs that tell us that the month has actually entered? And subsequently, what are those signs that tell us that the month has finished? These are all things in the next coming weeks that we want to cover bi-idhni Rabbina Azza wa Jal. Now, I want to read to you guys some advice or a question that was posed to Shaykh Al-Allama Abdul Aziz ibn Baz rahimahullah ta'ala, because I found that the advice that the Shaykh gave was nafisa, precious. The word nafisa means precious. But before I get into this, are there any questions about what I've presented so far from the floor? Any questions? Does everybody know who Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz is, by the way? I'll ask the question a different way. Who doesn't know Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala? Want Jade, and that's honest. Excellent. Jazakallah khairah. And that's honestness. I'm really happy that you guys were brave enough to put up your hands. Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, he is a scholar of from Saudi Arabia. He's passed away now, rahimahullah ta'ala. And he was definitely, bila shak wa la rayba fi, without a shadow of a doubt, without a shred of a doubt, from the major scholars of Al-Islam. If I'm not mistaken, he was the one that set up the Islamic University of Medina. Have you heard that?
Something like that.
Okay, take that with a pinch of salt, but nonetheless, he was a scholar in his own right. All right, all of the major scholars that we have today probably at some time studied under Sheikh Abdulaziz Ibn Baz. And it's so important that we know who the scholars of Al-Islam are, such that we know where to take our information from. Huh? If my car was broken, Sheikh Hamza, would I go to a dentist and say to the dentist, dentist or doctor, I got a flat tire, can you help me change it? Abadan. You will go to those people that are specialists in that field. So oftentimes when you hear me quoting, I quote from Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz, Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymeen, Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan. There are many scholars, but it's so important that we get acquainted with who these people are. Otherwise, when I say, for example, Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz was asked, to most of you who know Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz, rahimahullah ta'ala, it will carry some weight because you know this is a virtuous scholar. But for those among us who may not know who the Sheikh is, it's just the name. And it doesn't really mean anything. You guys with me? Anyway, inshallah ta'ala, if you guys trust me, take it from me, he was a scholar of Al-Islam. على كل حال سئل الشيخ عبد العزيز ابن باز رحمه الله تعالى عن المشروع قبل دخول رمضان. Sheikh Abdulaziz ibn Baz rahimahullah ta'ala, he was asked about what is requested or what is required from the Muslim as it relates to dukhul Ramadan, the entry of Ramadan. وهو في الحقيقة موضوعنا اليوم. And in reality, this question, when I found it, I was so surprised because it's the actual topic of today's discussion. الاستعداد لشهر رمضان المبارك. أليس كذلك إخوان؟ نعم. فيسأل الشيخ يقول يسأل الله أن يبلغ كل مسلم هذا الشهر الكريم. The Sheikh says that every single Muslim should ask Allah تبارك وتعالى that يبلغنا هذا الشهر الكريم, that Allah تبارك وتعالى allows us to reach this blessed month. And I mentioned in my previous class, the Sahaba, they used to ask Allah, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Oh Allah, allow us to reach Ramadan. 6 months, they would, after Ramadan, they would beg Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala and beseech Him Tabarak wa Ta'ala to accept their siyam and their good deeds generally, their amal salih in that particular month. And then the next 6 months, they would ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to allow them to reach the blessed month of Ramadan. So the Muslim, يسأل ربه أن يبلغه إياه وأن يعينه على الصيام وقيام إيمانا واحتسابا. Beautiful speech, Ikhwani, beautiful speech. And it just reminds me of the beauty of learning Arabic as well. Once you learn the Arabic language, your access to knowledge goes like this, and no mubalagha, this is no exaggeration. It goes like this to like this. It's almost as if, you're starting all over again. Much of what I learned before I started studying, I had to just eliminate because you can't remember, did I hear it from a reliable source? Did I hear it from a lecture from somebody that was just a storyteller? Where did I get my information from? You with me? The moment you start learning the Arabic language, your information goes like this. So what's the first thing that the Sheikh advised us to do, Ikhwan? يبلغنا Ramadan. Ask Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to allow us to reach the month of Ramadan. That's the first fa'idah. Secondly, أن يعينه أي المسلم على صيامه وقيامه إيمانا واحتسابا. In addition to beseeching, when I say beseech, Ikhwan, I mean begging Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to allow us to reach the blessed month of Ramadan, we should also beg and ask Him to aid and assist us in what? Siyamana wa qiyamana. Just because we've reached the month of Ramadan doesn't necessarily mean now that we're going to make the most of our siyam and the most of our qiyam. Qiyam meaning our standing, i.e. our salat.
If you wish to record further, please choose the append option from the menu. If you finish recording, just hang up. If you don't carry on recording or hang up, your message will be deleted.
Sorry for that.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت. No problem, Sheikh. You turned it off?
Oh, yeah, now it's turned up.
You sure?
Sure. No, it's don't call.
You don't want to check real quick?
No, check. No, nothing.
Jazakallah khair. طيب. The second thing I mentioned was that we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to aid and assist us, right? To aid and assist us in what, ikhwan? In our siyam and also our qiyam. Because the Muslim, throughout the whole of his life, he's in need of the aid and the assistance of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. But even more so in the month of Ramadan, as we're going to cover later if time permits. What time is Salat al-Isha? We got 45 minutes. And Salat 9:30.
No, Salah is 9:15.
Oh, adhan at 9. Jade. As we're going to learn later, the Salaf, rahimahumullahu tabaraka wa ta'ala, they used to say, don't make your days that you fast like the days that you don't fast. What does that mean? What would you guys think it means? The Salaf used to say, don't make the days that you fast like the days that you don't fast.
The same whether you're fasting or not.
Give me some more.
Like,
Give me some seasoning, Akhi.
like,
Give me the chicken without no seasoning. Give me some seasoning.
like people, when they get to Ramadan, you see them at the mosque every day, going to every salah and jama'ah. But when the time of Ramadan finishes,
Now,
then you don't see them, and you don't see them where you saw them before.
Mumtaz. Who else? What else do you guys?
Some people, when they fast, they sleep all day. They don't get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't do more ibadat.
جميل.
It's like same other days, they don't fast.
جميل. ماذا تفهم من هذه العبارة؟
You can't notice a difference between the day when you're fasting to a day in Ramadan in terms of, like the Prophet said, your ibadah. You're not reading more Quran, you're not praying more, you're doing just what you've done in the normal days, but you're fasting.
Excellent. Everything that you guys have said is fantastic. Barakallahu feekum jami'a. Don't make the days that you don't fast, that you fast like the days that you fast. It could mean two things. It could mean that do more effort in Ramadan, or those things that you are doing outside of the month of Ramadan, even though they may be wrong. It's not a concession to say, okay, outside of the month of Ramadan you can sin, but when Ramadan comes, you don't sin, as some people do. It's good from one angle because people are trying to stay away from their sin. But it all boils down to the intention. Are you just staying away from this particular sin, i.e. listening to music, hanging out, going to clubs, smoking weed, whatever it is that floats your boat? Are you staying away just because it's Ramadan, you know it's a blessed month, and then after it you've got the intention to go back? This is the person that won't benefit from the month of Ramadan. Or are you staying away because you sincerely want to keep away from this particular sin that you're indulged in, with the hope, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, once Ramadan finishes, you're going to stay away from that sin? Can you see the difference between the two? Two completely different intentions. So even if somebody is falling into sin, when the Ramadan comes, don't make these days like those days, i.e. stay away from the sin. Or the other meaning it could mean, and Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala knows best, even if you're somebody that doesn't openly indulge in sin, but maybe you might sleep a bit more, you might not read much Quran, or you might not read Quran every day, don't make now that the month's here like a regular normal day in your life. No, this is the time when you have to pull up your socks and tighten up your belt, alright? And push. Make sense, ikhwan? This is what, inshallah ta'ala, this is what the understanding of some of the Salaf, rahimahumullah ta'ala. Anyway, the Shaykh says that you ask Allah tabarak wa ta'ala and yu'inana ala siyamina wa qiyamina imanan wa ihtisaban. Imanan wa ihtisaban. Having full conviction and faith, imanan, that Allah tabarak wa ta'ala, our Lord, made the fasting of Ramadan obligatory on every single Muslim, male and female. And obviously, inshallah, there are exceptions to people that don't have to fast, sick, the traveler, the old, and stuff like that. But we're not going to deal with those exceptions right now. But generally speaking, as-siyam, shahr Ramadan, is wajib. on every single Muslim, male and female. Alright? Now, Jazakumullahu khairah. But when we fast the month of Ramadan, imanan, we have to fast believing in our heart with full conviction that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made this action obligatory upon us and it is beloved to Him Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Wahtisaba. Wahtisaban bima'na that not only do we fast believing that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made this blessed month obligatory upon us, but we seek and we anticipate what? Al-ajr min Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. You with me, guys? Fasting, ikhwan, as the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in the Hadith Qudsi that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala says that all of the deeds of the son of Adam are for who? For themselves or for him, except what? ليس رمضان إلا الصوم فإنه ماذا قال الله تبارك وتعالى فإنه لي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says except fasting, because indeed fasting is for me and I will reward for it. Why do you think Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, out of all of the good deeds it's possible for a Muslim to do, why did He make an exception for fasting? Bismillah. I see you, Sheikh Talib. I want to see some. الشيخ الذي ينام في الفصل. ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Good dream, أخي? What are you dreaming about? You're making me jealous over here, أخي. All this talking and you're just sitting there dreaming. What do you think is intended by what was just mentioned? Who can help him? What was the question?
Hadith that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that fasting is for me and I reward according to what it's meant by this.
Yeah, why did
sorry,
Allah...
what?
No, continue.
Okay, why did Allah single out fasting as the deeds for Him as opposed to other things?
All of the good deeds that we can do as Muslims, and there are many. قراءة القرآن, الصلاة, الحج والعمرة, الصدقة, النكاح. All of these good deeds we can do as Muslims. Why did Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala make an exception for fasting? Why did He say فَإِنَّهُ لِي? For indeed it is for me. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh. I knew I was going to do that one time. He says it's for me and I will reward for it. Why do you think He said that, akhi? For fasting.
Because he's the only one that knows who fasts.
Allahu Akbar. Fasting, as-siyam is something that's sir. Nobody knows in reality if somebody's fasting other than the one that's fasting on Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Sah? Nobody knows if somebody went in the back and took a sip of water real quick because their throat was dry, or took a Malteser to give them some energy because they needed a little sugar rush. Nobody knows. And for that reason, the ulama mentioned this is why this action is so beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A person, he leaves not only those things which Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala made haram upon him, and this is a crucial point. Fasting isn't only leaving off food and drink. Fasting isn't only leaving off food and drink. Instead, fasting is leaving off everything that is displeasing to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, because we don't only fast with our bodies. We fast with our tongue. We can fast with our hands. We also fast with our eyes. It's for that reason the word Sawm in Arabic, if you look at the linguistic meaning of the word Sawm, it means literally to refrain. Al-imsak. Al-imsak. تعرفوا المعنى الإمساك بالإنجليزية؟ يعني to refrain or to withhold. Alright? If you can باللغة العربية هل يمكننا أن نقول صام المطر؟ لا؟ أيوة. ما سمعت عن هذا؟ أوكي.
صام المطر يعني لم تسقط المطر.
أيوة هكذا. هكذا المقصود. The word sama is the verb of sawm. Sama yasumu sum sawman. Alright? In the Arabic language, if you used to say sama al-matar. Sama al-matar. Al-matar meaning the rain. It means it didn't rain, as the Shaykh said. Lam tanzil al-matar. The rain didn't fall. So the word Sawm or Sawm or Sama, it means literally in the language is to withhold. But in the religion, it has a completely different meaning. It has some similarities to the linguistic meaning, but there are extra meanings that we're going to cover shortly. What was the last thing I was mentioning before I went on to that? Who can remember?
Fasting is for Allah, and He rewards that hadith you mentioned.
Naam. So that's what is meant by imanan wa ihtisaban. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, وَكَمْ لِلَّهِ مِنْ إِنسَانٍ لَا يُبَلِّغُهُ وَإِنْ كَانَ لَمْ يَبْقَ إِلَّا الشَّيْء الْقَلِيلِ. How many people and this is what I was alluding to at the beginning of the lecture, how many among the mankind didn't reach or wasn't able to reach the blessed month of Ramadan, even though there didn't remain except a few number of days. How many people have we heard about that's passed away in the past month? Many, sir? Many. Then the Shaykh says, فَوَصِيَّتِي لَكُمْ عفوا فوصيتي لكل مؤمن ولكل مؤمنة الضراعة إلى الله عز وجل ودعاؤه بصدق وإخلاص أن يبلغه هذا الشهر الكريم. So the Shaykh says that my advice for every single Muslim, male and female, every single believer, male and female, is that they beseech Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and they don't just beseech him mujarrad, you just say, oh Allah, Allahumma ballighni Ramadan, Allahumma, and you don't really, you're not attentive, your heart's not in what you're saying. La, the Shaykh says, bisidqin, that you're truthful in what you're saying, wa ikhlasin, and you're sincere in what you're saying. About what? And yuballighana hadha shahr al-kareem, that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala allows us to reach this blessed month. And in making al-isti'dad, ما معنى الاستعداد إخوان؟ الاستعداد preparation, mentioned it a few times. And in making al-isti'dad for Ramadan, we need to also get with the fact that we need to make a tawbah. Now tawbah, turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and seeking forgiveness in Allah, yes, we should do it inside Ramadan. But let's try to get acquainted with or used to doing it before the month of Ramadan, such that, as the Shaykh is going to mention here, once we reach Ramadan, inshallah ta'ala, Allah would have forgiven our sins before we've even reached the month. Make sense, ikhwan? Don't wait till the month of Ramadan or wait till Laylatul Qadr, you know? Thank you. As the brother said, you might not reach it. So the Shaykh says, Al-inayatu bit-tawbah. Pay attention to making a tawbah. In these days now, in the time leading up to Ramadan, تجديد التوبة قبل دخول هذا الشهر الكريم حتى يدخل عليك شهر رمضان وأنت في سلامة من ذنوبك قد محاها الله عنك بالتوبة الصادقة. Yani paraphrasing what the Shaykh says here, he says, renew your tawbah. Renew, asking Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for forgiveness, such that you can enter this blessed month and you're fi salama. You're in an area of safety from the previous sins that you've committed. Why? Because Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has wiped and erased them due to your truthful tawbah. Due to your truthful tawbah. Not the tawbah that you just say, Allahumma ghfirli, and then you know you're going to go back to committing that sin. You know you're going to go back to committing that sin. I.e., that tawbah that you made wasn't khalisa, alright, and it wasn't sadiqa, alright? It wasn't truthful and it wasn't sincere. If a person, on the other hand, he makes tawbah to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala to stay away from a particular sin, and then he tries his utmost best to stay away, but he falls back again, this is something that's adi. This is what we do every single day as human beings. Am I lying, ikhwan? Every single one of us, we make mistakes. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us, and we're truthful in that, and you might make the same mistake. That shouldn't make us become despondent or despair in the mercy of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Ever. At the end of the day, if you make a mistake, as many times as you make a mistake, turn back to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, because you're turning to somebody whose forgiveness isn't limited. He can forgive man yasha. Sah? He can forgive whomsoever he pleases, when he wants and how he wants. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, remember the last thing I mentioned was making truthful tawbah. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, ثُمَّ الْعَزْمُ الصَّادِقُ أن تستقيم في رمضان وأن تبتعد عن كل ما حرم الله هكذا ينبغي للمؤمن أن يعزم عزما صادقا أن يجتهد في رمضان. The Shaykh says, or the next piece of advice he goes on to say, is that you have a firm resolve. You guys understand what I mean? A firm resolve?
No.
A firm intention, a firm determination. Alright? You have a firm determination that you are going to be mustaqim in Ramadan. Alright? You don't have the determination, I want to try for 10 days, see how I get on, then after that, khalas, I'm going to go back to what I normally do. La, that's not the maqsood from this month. Islam is a religion for men. And I'm not saying that women are not part of our religion or anything like that, but we have to start to become men, and we have to grow up. And the quicker we become men, and the quicker we grow up, the quicker we can get on with our lives. Fasting isn't easy. It isn't easy, by no stretch of the imagination. You're leaving off of not only the things that Allah Ta'ala made haram, but also those things that Allah Ta'ala made halal. Alaysa kadhalik? Is not food halal, drink halal, sexual intercourse with our wives halal, but you're leaving it off in a month. It's difficult. But ma'a dhalika, we have to make that tawbah and have that firm resolve that we are going to the best of our abilities, remain upright in this blessed month. Then the Shaykh says, وَأَن تَبْتَعِدَ عَنْ كُلِّ مَا حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى. Not only do we want to remain steadfast in this month, but we also want to stay away. And this is a point that I want to stop on and I want us to ponder over. We want to stay away from every single thing that Allah Ta'ala made haram without any exceptions. طبعا الناس على الطبقات. People are of various levels. You've got those people that very, very rarely sin, and then you've got those people that are going to be sinning on a regular basis. All right? I'm not here to judge anybody, but at the end of the day, what's required for the Muslim is to stay away from these sins without any exception. It's not permissible under any circumstances, especially in the month of Ramadan, to intentionally indulge in anything that will either, number one, invalidate the fast, or number two, which is equally as bad, cause the rewards of your fast to be what? Diminished. Or at the very least, decreased. They're either going to be diminished or they're going to be decreased. So if you know, and like I said, everybody's different. If you know that you're in an environment, whether that be work, whether that be college, whether that be school, wherever that situation is, alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. If you're in a situation where you know that when I'm in this situation, the likelihood of me disobeying Allah Ta'ala is going to increase, you don't put yourself in that situation thinking that, I'm going to be strong enough to withhold and make imsak. What did I say imsak means, ikhwan? Withholding and refraining from any of the evils that are happening in this particular environment. La, don't even put yourself in that situation in the beginning. That's what the sensible person does. I know when I hang around with so-and-so is going to get me in trouble, I'm not going to hang around with so-and-so. I know if I go into such and such an area at such and such a time, the likelihood is me getting into a situation is going to increase. I'm not even going to go to that area. Does that make sense, ikhwan? We have to start thinking a bit more meticulously about how we live our lives and what we do with our lives, guys. All right? أن تبتعد عن كل ما حرم الله تبارك وتعالى. هكذا ينبغي للمؤمن أن يعزم عزما صادقا وأن يجتهد في رمضان. This is what is appropriate for the believer to do, that he has this truthful determination and he strives in the blessed month of Ramadan. Then the Shaykh goes on to say, guys, bear with me, yeah? It's like I said, nasiha, nafisa, precious advice. وأن يصون جوارحه عن محارم الله. And that he protects his bodily limbs from the limits of Allah, i.e. those things which Allah Ta'ala made haram. وأن يستكثر من الخير في الليل والنهار. وأن يستكثر من الخير في الليل والنهار. هكذا ليس كلامي أنا، هذا كلام الشيخ Abdul Aziz ibn Baz rahimahullah ta'ala. This ain't my speech, what I'm saying, guys. This is the speech of Sheikh Abdul Aziz ibn Baz. He says that we also protect our bodily limbs from the limits or those things which Allah Ta'ala has made prohibited upon us, and that we nastakthir, that we increase in goodness. Goodness can either be in our qawl or it can either be in our al-amal. Increasing goodness, whether that be qira'atul Quran, al-dhikr, saying a nice word to your brother. Never ever, what's the word I'm looking for? Belittle any good deed. Because you could say something to your brother that you don't know the effect, positive or negative, that will have on that individual, and how it could subsequently change that person's life, for the better or for the worse. It could be as simple as saying, I'm proud of you. It could be as simple as saying, I love you. It could be as simple as just being grateful, saying, you know what you done for me the other day? I really appreciate it. May Allah. It could be anything. But in this blessed month and in the preparations to this blessed month, علينا نحن جميعا أن نستكثر ماذا في ماذا؟ من الخير. Alright? In goodness, في الليل والنهار, during the night and during the day. And if any one of us, as I touched upon previously, find ourselves, whether it be outside or inside the month of Ramadan, that we're returning back to some of the sins that we were committing pre-Ramadan, then we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to aid us. And we try to have that firm resolve not to return back بإذن ربنا عز وجل. طيب يا إخواني, with that being said, the Shaykh ended his advice by saying, not only do we try to make al-istighthar wal-istimrar, meaning to continue to do good deeds in the month of Ramadan, but also when the blessed month leaves, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us the tawfiq, the success to reach the blessed month of Ramadan, that we continue those good habits that we picked up in the month of Ramadan, we continue after the month of Ramadan. وأنه يستمر من الخير أو في الخير في رمضان وفي غيره. So you continue with doing those good deeds in the month of Ramadan and likewise outside of the month of Ramadan. لماذا يا شيخ؟ يقول الشيخ فهو لا يدري، أي المسلم أو المسلمة لا يدري متى يهجم الأجل. ما معنى هذا الكلام؟ المسلم لا يدري متى يهجم الأجل. Don't know when he's gonna die. If I said لأن المسلم لا يعرف متى لا يدري متى يموت, you guys probably would have understood that. And this is why it's beautiful, because when I was reading this from the Shaykh, I was like, subhanallah, ما معنى يهجم? I know what al-ajl meant, but I didn't know what, I could tell by the context. But this is beautiful. This is why it's good to read and increase your knowledge, because there's more than one way, as they say, to skin a cat, right? There's more than one way to express yourself in any language. So because we don't know when we're going to die, and this is connected to what I mentioned at the beginning of this lecture, we should increase in khair, continue to increase in khair, inside and outside the month of Ramadan, because it could be our time now, today, tonight, and we don't know. So the key to being successful after the tawfiq of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala is what, guys? Al-isti'dad. Al-isti'dad. فهمتني؟ فهمتموني؟ Preparation. متعب؟ تريد موية؟ تريد أن تتوضأ؟ طيب, all right, guys. Let's begin, inshallah ta'ala. And like I said, there are certain few key points that I want us to take away from today's lesson and the subsequent lectures بإذن الله تعالى. أولا, we need to understand ما معنى الصيام لغة واصطلاحا. I've already mentioned that the word الصيام لغة means al-imsak, to stay away. The ulama mentioned مجرد al-imsak. It's strictly, just simply to stay away. فكل إمساك تسميه العرب صوما حتى الإمساك عن الكلام يسمى صوما. The ulama, they mentioned that every single form of imsak is considered among the Arabs to be sawm. Alright? Among the Arabs, anytime somebody or something makes imsak of something else, then it's called as sawm. حتى الإمساك عن الكلام. Even if somebody stops speaking. If somebody stops speaking, this is referred to as Sawm. What does Maryam alayha as-salam say in Surah Maryam? قالت إني نذرت للرحمن صوما فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. Maryam says in the Quran, إني نذرت للرحمن صوما. Indeed, I have vowed to Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. ماذا? To refrain from talking. صوما. فلن أكلم اليوم إنسيا. I will not speak to a single person this day. So here we can clearly see, if you go back to the Arabic, Maryam, she said the word صوما, which means, i.e. in this case, to refrain from. This is the linguistic meaning of the meaning, sawm. Jir, Akhil Habib. I like to pick people out randomly just to make sure everybody's on their toes. You ready for me? Inshallah. So we said that lughatan, in the language, the word sawm means to stay away, to refrain from. Jade. Explain to me, Akhil Habib, the connection in your opinion, between the word Sawm linguistically and the word Sawm in the religion? It sounds more because you've got about 40 eyes on you right now. It seems worse. Okay, you got 42. When he puts his glass on 44, his glass. I got the mic actually. Just think about it. If I say linguistically, Sawm means to refrain. طيب, put that to one side. Islamically now, inside the religion of Al-Islam, when we say Sawm, it means something, and obviously you know what it means in the religion. But what's the link between the two? No. This ain't Ask a Friend, Akhi. This ain't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Think about it. What's the link? Linguistically, it means to stay away. Islamically, we know what it means. What's the link between them? J. Akhi. No face.
Are you refraining from sin inside the month of Ramadan and bringing about sin?
Just sin. In the Ramadan, it's the only thing you stay away from, just sin. Akhi. No, on the wall.
Repeat the question.
Okay, that's more time when I ask a question, I like to pick those people who haven't got their hand out. Alright? The question is, we know that Sawm or Siyam in the language means to refrain, al-imsak. What is the connection between this and the meaning in their religion? For example, I'll give you another, I explain it another way. When we make Siyam in the month of Ramadan, are we just staying away from things? Do we just make imsak?
Yeah.
Just imsak?
No.
What do we do in the month of Ramadan?
Everything. Looking, everything, hands. It's too many things. It's not just for eating or something.
Excellent. But what is the key difference between the linguistic meaning and the Shar'i meaning? That comes under it, but okay. If I didn't talk, what did you say, Sheikh?
Remember for poor people?
Excellent, try, but I was looking for something else. If I just didn't talk, I didn't intend to not talk, I just didn't talk. Just remain silent for an hour. I made Sawm anil kalam, right? Didn't intend to do it, I just happened to do it. I can't give you no more clues than that, Ikhwan. I'm not going to ask you, Abu Sulaim. Now, let's go back to you.
Yeah, staying away is not from eating only, but the most meaning of it is staying away from eating whatever and doing a lot of ibadah.
That's fantastic, Akhi. That's fantastic. Jazakallah khair.
صوم لها شروط صوم الدين لها شروط وواجبات أما
لا شك, but I'm looking for something else.
Can you say the question again, please?
Okay, let me go at the back. Let me repeat the question. I'm going to go at the back, then I'm going to come to you also. The question is, we know linguistically that the word Sawm means imsak. Maryam said, إِنِّي نَظَرَتُ لِلرَّحْمَنِ ماذا؟ صَوْمًا فَلَنْ أُكَلِّمَ الْيَوْمَ She didn't speak and it was called Sawm.
Oh, you're talking about that. I understand.
She refrained from something.
Can you say that in English?
Sorry. And Maryam says in the Quran that indeed I have vowed to the most merciful that I will refrain from speaking today to anybody. Right? What is the link between the linguistic meaning and the Shar'i meaning? I.e. the meaning in the religion?
I think attention.
Say it.
Attention.
Not attention. Intention.
Yes.
That's what I wanted, guys. A niyyah. A niyyah. If somebody woke up and they didn't have the intention to fast, in or outside the month of Ramadan, and he just didn't eat, Naam, Sama, linguistic